Hello. Well, when you put it next to these other proposals that have been put forward, it is broadly the same. A number of stages, captives released for a very large number of Palestinian prisoners, something that the Prime Minister is calling unrealistic. He was also, his office has just released a statement saying that Netanyahu has now approved plans for this operation down in the southern city of Rafah, where more than 1 million internally displaced Palestinians are sheltering, an area that was declared a safe zone up until quite recently. So this is certainly very, very concerning, given the pressure that the international community has really been putting on Israel to hold off on this. And this is, of course, something that we've heard from the US President Joe Biden that is a line for Washington. So certainly very, very concerning. But we do know that these negotiations are ongoing. The Security Cabinet is meeting a little later today. After that, an Israeli delegation will fly to Qatar to speak to these mediators about potentially ironing out some of the creases in this proposal. But certainly that main sticking point remains, and that is a ceasefire. Hamas says that this would be discussed in the first stage of the deal, but that is something that Israel has been very, very firmly against, saying that there will be no ceasefire until Hamas is defeated in the Gaza Strip.
Well, Sarah, before the delegation flies to Qatar, any comment from the Israeli Prime Minister or war cabinet yet?
We need to remember that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is under immense pressure internationally and also here at home. We heard those very scathing comments yesterday from the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. He said that Netanyahu is putting his own political survival above the interests of Israel, calling on him to step down, calling for elections to be held. He also said that Netanyahu is one of the 4 major obstacles to peace. And what we are seeing today are major demonstrations outside the military headquarters in Tel Aviv. The families of these 134 hostages that are being held in the Gaza Strip, they are demanding that the Prime Minister do everything he can and come to any kind of agreement now to get these captives out.
We know that there's a deal on the table. We know that this might be the last chance to bring back more than 70 hostages alive and to bring all the hostages that are already dead and bring them to bury them here in Israel. We know that there's a deal on the table, that Hamas gave an answer. We expect the Israeli government to do what it needs to do and close this deal and bring all the hostages back. That's money time.
And this comes as all the major television channels here in Israel have released findings of polls conducted over the last few days showing that elections, if they were being held today, that Netanyahu would lose to fellow War Cabinet member Benny Gantz.